Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Caught me by surprise. Cuckoo clock is going off. It must be time to talk about the ketogenic protocol. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, and I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol and how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Excuse me, I've got little wispy hairs on my face. Excuse me. First of all, can you see and hear me? Because I never know. It always looks like things are working, but then you never know. Today's topic is I can only speak for me, but I can share that I have heard this from many people as well. The most challenging part of the ketogenic protocol. First of all, let me remind you what it is. The ketogenic diet is one whereby you reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver stops pumping out glucose for fuel. And when the glucose tap is shut down, the liver will happily, it's a whole complicated process, but the body flips over from burning glucose for fuel to burning ketones or fat, body fat for fuel. Our brain loves it. Our bodies love it. We have plenty of energy stored in our fat cells, so that's what it is. How do you do that? Keep your carbohydrate intake 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs just means more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Fatty sources of protein, non-starchy vegetables in limited quantities, and full-fat dairy if you like it and can tolerate it in limited quantities. So keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. It's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop eating when you're satiated, not stop eating when you're stuffed. So that's it. It's very straightforward. It's rather simple. It's elegant in its simplicity. But just because something's simple does not make it easy. So what is the most challenging part? Not eating if you're not hungry. If anyone, and I know we've got people here and they're saying hello to each other. Hi, from Pittsburgh. Yay, we're just talking about Pittsburgh the other day. Anyone can raise their hand if they agree that the most challenging part of the ketogenic protocol is not eating if you're not hungry. I will raise my hand. It's easier for me now. I've been doing this for over 7.5 years. But I had to learn what hunger actually felt like, because when you're a sugar burner, and because we were told to eat throughout the day, 3 meals a day, 2 snacks. If you go for too long without eating, your body, this was never even made sense to me when I was, a sugar burner. If you go too long without eating, like too long meaning like 3 hours, your body will go into starvation mode and your metabolism will slow down. You have to eat every 2.5 or 3 hours to keep your metabolism revved up. Well, people are raising their hands. It's the hardest part. That's kind of silly. If you had to eat every 3 hours to rev up your metabolism, why not eat every 15 minutes and make your metabolism on fire? No. But hunger is a different sensation for me now than it ever was when I was a sugar burner. When I was a sugar burner, my brain would tell me to get more glucose. That was brain hunger, because glucose, sugar, can't be stored in the blood. If your body's trying to store glucose in the blood, that's type 2 diabetes. Not good. And if the brain, which is an energy hog, is kind of getting mostly glucose for its fuel and it can't be stored and it's churning through it a lot, it's a quick burning fuel, brain is saying, get me some more of that glucose. If you're going to be burning glucose, I need more of it. When you're a fat burner, the brain is perfectly happy burning fat for fuel. Another hand goes up. Hardest part, not eating if you're not hungry. And you can go longer. It's one of the reasons that the protocol works. It actually kills appetite and hunger. Not because it's damaging your body. It's because the food you're eating, combined with getting nutrition from our fat cells. Remember that our bodies are getting the calories required by definition through a combination of what we put in our gobs and what we're burning off of our body. I can't show you here. I don't think YouTube has the ability yet to screen share unless I'm doing OBS or something, which I'm not. If you go to my blog, it's also a link below to that, kcdurango.com, you can see some photos of me from when I was heavier. Melissa Hanline, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And if you notice the super chats, it little nice little thing, it pins the comment to the top, so I make sure that I see it. Melissa writes, yes, the eating when not hungry, but what freedom when I choose well and feel like as if I'm in the precious few who know what really works. And more people are learning, but it is kind of like you got this, you found the secret. Like we got the keys to the kingdom. So thank you again, Melissa, for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. So you're rolling along, but sometimes we're still eating on the schedule that we ate before because it's been drilled into us. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Don't skip a meal. Well, you know all the bad nutrition advice we've been given that was also given to our parents. Some of us are third generation on bad nutrition advice. So I actually, I thought I'd sold out of these some time ago, but I found another store of magnets. Are you here out of habit or out of hunger? No. Are you out of hunger or out of habit? This picture of a fridge. And then if hunger's not the problem, food is not the answer. Because we can still say, well, I always eat this. And then you're surprised why, we're surprised when we're not losing weight. It's because we're eating as much or more fuel than we need. If you're not hungry, don't eat. If you're hungry, eat. This is my philosophy. This is how I learned it and how I've practiced it. I'll go over it again. 20 grams of fuel a day, total not net. It's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Nowhere in there does it talk about grams of fat or grams of protein or ounces of water. Nowhere does it talk about time of day or anything with, I don't even want to say the little phrase where you see numbers, semicolon, another number, or any other anagram. Some days I eat more than other days. I never eat a lot anymore. Why? Not because I'm being restrictive. The food I eat is satisfying. I need less of it. Why? Because I weigh a lot less than I used to. I'm older than I was, no duh. My body chemistry is different. My stage of life is different than another person's. My stage of life is different than it was 10 years ago. But that's the beauty of this. And let me tell you what, my lovely mate eats less food than he used to eat. He never had a weight issue. He's doing this because he knows, he's seen me about 6 months after I started. He started for the health benefits, for longevity. He and I, neither of us are on any medications whatsoever. None. We both take slow release magnesium. We get it from Amazon. There's a link to that, I think, at my blog as well. It's the least expensive way I found of getting it. Magnesium chloride, Mag 64, Mag 64, which is the generic formulation of Slow Mag, which is much more expensive. We get them 5 bottles at a time. They come packaged that way. That's all we take. And he may or may not need it. I do because of leg cramps, because I've always had muscle cramps even before this, even before keto. So anyway, no medications. I sleep much better than I did. My husband is a cyclist. He doesn't have to eat a bunch of sugary carbs or Snickers bars or goos or gels. And he's from Colombia, South America. He can ride a bike up in the Andes. And even though he's trim, he has plenty of onboard fat. But we still have to learn to not eat if we're not hungry. And then the next step Stop when you're satiated. This became the next trick for me. So don't eat if you're not hungry. How did I do that? Okay, one day I realized I was peckish, which is kind of, I could eat. I'm peckish. This was after I'm a fat burner and everything. I had lost weight, some weight. I'm peckish. I could eat, but I'm fine. And then I get distracted and I'll stay that same level of peckishness for hours. It doesn't get worse and it's not an unpleasant sensation. And then at some point, it goes from peckish to, okay, now you're hungry. Then I had to realize to stop eating when I was satiated. Don't go back for a second helping of that delicious whatever it is. Perfectly keto, but I had to learn. And one of the best tricks for that is to slow up whilst eating. Slow up. Why? Well, for one thing, it's not an attractive thing to shovel food in your face. Another thing is physiological. There is a hormone called leptin. It's the satiety hormone. It lets our brain know. I always want to think it's coming from here. I have no idea where it might be coming from our earlobes. It has to get to our brain and say, okay, you've had enough. You're satiated. Ghrelin is the opposite hormone. That one is the one that says you need to eat. But leptin says you've had enough. But it takes a few minutes for that signal to reach the brain. And I say a few minutes, it might mean 15 minutes. But if you've inhaled your food in 8 minutes and then gone back for some more, and so now you've eaten a double helping in 10 minutes, you still don't get the signal. So I actually tend to eat, particularly my main plate of fuel for the day, I eat very slowly. I'm often working. I'm in front of my computer and I eat slowly. And I push the food away and I go back, type. And then usually I finish it. I'm done, step away, put the dishes away. And in about 2 minutes after that, I'm like, I can't even imagine eating anymore right now. I go from really enjoying it. It tasted good. It smelled good. Ooh, I might have to make this another plate of this, to go from that to, oh, I don't want to eat anything else. And I'm good for until the next time I'm hungry. The hardest part, the food is easy. We try to complicate it. People want to complicate it because human nature, we want to complicate things. Some people who want to sell you products really want it to seem complicated. Some people lie. Sorry. Some people lie. They say, it's not that they're saying inaccurate things out of ignorance. They're saying inaccurate things because they want to sell you something. There is no food product that says, I was in Costco, keto ice cream bars. Really? Do we think that that's true? Do we really think ice cream bars are keto? Fudge-covered ice cream bars? Keto clusters, they're made with nuts and almonds and seeds and something, and they're shelf-stable. If something's shelf-stable without being refrigerated, it almost certainly is high in carbs. They will tout their so-called net carbs on the front of the package, in the US anyway. In other parts of the world, you don't get to see total carbs and net carbs. But in the United States, you look on the back of the package. The only thing I look at are the total carbs per serving, and then I look to see what the serving is. If the serving size is, here's this, whatever it is, it's a bar, say. It's a keto bar. You look at it, oh, it's 1 total gram of carbohydrate per serving. Servings per container, 8. So the bar, they break the serving down so small. Anyway, tangent. So we have to learn what hunger is. And just because it's challenging doesn't mean we can't do it. You just have to practice. I consider this a keto practice, like a yoga practice or a meditation practice. And I'm never going to be done with it. And I'm pretty good at this. I have not been out of ketosis since 2014. I am weight stable. Boy, am I weight stable. But some days I will get to the end of the day and I will have prepared something for my husband, who does eat more food than I do usually, but he eats much less than he used to. But I'll prepare something and I might have a thing of it, a little portion of it. He says, is that all you're going to have? You want more? I say, no, I didn't even need this, but it tasted so good. But I never go off the deep end. but it's still a practice. So I appreciate that. This is a quick message. What's the hardest part for me? For me to learn was don't eat if you're not hungry. Eat if you're actually hungry. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Push the peckishness. And when you're a fat burner, being hungry for a while is not an emergency. Not like when you feel like you're going to fall out if you're a sugar burner, or that people get hangry when they're a sugar burner, because that's the brain yelling, "Get me some glucose. Feed me, Seymour." So anyway, and then stop when you're satiated. So slow down. Now I'm going to turn to comments. I really appreciate you guys. Hey, Dave, eat until you are full. See, I don't say eat until you're full. I say eat until you're satiated. To me, the definition of satiated may or may not mean full. Satiated means satisfied. For me, it means no longer hungry, but everyone has to do it, what works for them. Hello, Miko's Danes. Happy Saturday, everyone. Definitely hardest part is to stop snacking, even if it's just pickles or salami, after I'm full. Habits are tough to break, but seeing success stories like Casey helps. So much of everything that we do regarding food is habitual. Everything from traditional holiday meals to I always get something as soon as I get in from work, to I always stop at this particular place and on my way into work and get, whether or not I need it, I stop. I always eat X when we're watching a movie. We associate, it is habitual. But we didn't emerge from the womb eating popcorn in front of a movie screen. Habits arose. Plus, food is pushed on us by food manufacturers and advertisers, and sometimes by other people. But just as a habit was created that got us here, we can introduce new habits. We can create new habits. Dave S. writes, over time, it has been easier to listen to when I'm actually hungry. I used to eat out of habit. Are you out of hunger or out of habit? Oh, a commercial break. I do want to give a nod to patrons, several of whom are here, but here's some stuff. I always say apologies to the Car Talk guys. Here's the Shameless Commerce Division. Some of these items you can see below the video. They're at my Teespring store. Oh, and there's a Teespring or Spring is sponsoring a discount until Tuesday, I think. It's not my discount. If you go and you purchase one of my items and you use the code SUNSET, it's 10% off. But they're like mugs. Lay off the carbs, lay off the excuses, and there's my silly face. And a steel water bottle, which is actually quite good. Go Keto with Casey, and then more things on the back. This t-shirt, I'm stronger than a cookie. Anyway, and then here's Casey's 12-month record book, spiral version, which you can get at my blog. It's a little bit more expensive, and it'll take longer to get there because I'm not Amazon, which is where you can get this one. But frankly, this one is the better version to write in because it's spiral and you can open it up. It has, quotes and habit trackers and coloring pages and no dates. I purposely did not put a date in here because you don't have to wait until January 1st or after your birthday. You can start right now today. Patrons. I have a private support group on patreon.com. And depending on your pledge level, you will see, everyone sees has access to 5 pre-recorded videos of mine. I make them in the morning, first thing before coffee, pillow hair and everything. And the patrons suggest the topics. I'm on number 968. I just posted of those snippets. And then going up from there, a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast. Up from there, a handful of patron-only video group sessions, which we just had one this morning on Zoom. I'm no longer taking the one-on-one tier with a monthly one-on-one. I'm full. And then this is something I do every couple of months. I design and produce cards, which I send out to $10 and up people. This one, I just got these. My girth does not define my worth. Go Keto with Casey. And it's a tape measure. And I'll spend the month getting this out because I write a note on the back of each one. I wish I felt that for myself back when I was heavy. I wish I did not feel defined by my weight, but I did. I was the one defining that. No one else did that for me. All right, so there we go. Just trying to earn my keep around here. So that's and a pop socket. I didn't even know what these were. And this one says, "Food is not the boss of me." That's at my blog as well. Okay, Carissa Jenner. How do I deal with people who claim they lose weight fasting and eating everything in moderation? Good for them. You don't have to deal with them at all. It's none of our business what they do. It's none of our business if they're lying through their teeth about that. It's none of our business if that is their success. Good for them. Wouldn't work for me. I did everything. I did triathlons, worked with a nutritionist or was guided by a nutritionist, followed the food pyramid, tracked my METs, my BMR, basic metabolic rate, my BMI, of course, my exercise calories. I have and still do have a spreadsheet that had a portion that was MyFitnessPal before MyFitnessPal. I had a food database that plugged in, and I wrote, had one English muffin and a slice of no-fat cheese and a poached egg. I would put that in, and it would calculate all the M words, the calories, carbs, fat, protein, portion all out for me. And I was really trying to keep my carbs to 60% because that's what I was told to do. Didn't work for me. But we don't have to deal with it. When no one gets a vote on what you eat, what you do, I don't really care. Carissa Jenner, I don't know if you're answering. If you're just saying you need electrolytes, we have electrolytes. I mean, we get them when we eat. If you're having cramps, and if you're saying I need electrolytes, I'm good. But some people go and stock up and stuff, and a lot of people, there are people in this sphere, medical doctors, who are putting their name and faces on bottles of electrolyte water. Easiest thing you can do is up your sodium intake just a little bit. You can do that by putting some salt under your tongue and take a glass of water. Miko Staines writes, I have a Go Keto with Casey tank top. Oh my gosh, so comfortable. Oh, I'm so happy that you like it, and really nice shape on it. Highly recommend. Thank you. Ange, hey Ange. Miko Staines, I bought a medium to hopefully wear next summer. And oh my, it is small. Not sure how it will work out. It seems super short. You'll get there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nancy Hansen writes, I was having so many leg cramps in my thighs, and then I discovered what Dr. Westman says is to take about a teaspoon of milk of magnesia before bed and eat more salty foods, and it does help. We have to find that balance. For me, and I follow the advice of Dr. Stephen Finney as far as the magnesium. I experimented, and I have found what works for me. Everyone else needs to find what works for them. Domenica Cafagna, hello from New York. Hello. Oh, good. Carissa writes, your journal is really helping me understand my food intolerance. Is excellent. Hey, Judy Porterfield, I take magnesium for leg cramps too. I like magnesium citrate because it kills two birds with one stone. LOL. I think I know what you're talking about. Magnesium and different formulations can help keep things moving. The cooking studio, Fort Collins. You guys need to check this out. This is our friend Trish. She's a patron. She runs a very well-respected cooking studio. Mustard on your tongue. The cramp goes away in 90 seconds. Works for me every time. People say about yellow mustard and pickle juice. And it's amazing. And that's another great thing about the ketogenic protocol. If there are any little tweaking, the solution is almost always the most affordable, least expensive thing to do. Let me see. Oh, Tuesday evening, this coming Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, the Durham support group meeting with Dr. Eric Westman and me on Crowdcast. If you follow me on Crowdcast, you will be notified when I do public live streams because I do them. I do a Wednesday wine day with Amy Berger. We do that every month, and then I have patron only live streams, but they're public if someone wants to check them out. Check out, the schedule. Anyway, you can see that my schedule at my blog under my schedule, or you can look at Crowdcast. The Durham Support Group meeting, 6:30 p.m. Eastern until 8 p.m. An hour and a half. You get to ask the world expert on the clinical implementation of the ketogenic diet for obesity and type 2 diabetes and a whole bunch of other metabolic issues. Miko Staines writes, just an idea, but the cards you send out to the patrons, like it's not a treat, it's a trap. How about once those go out to your patrons, turn them into a magnet to sell so we can put them on the fridge? Thank you. So I send out these cards. I write a note, and I do it about every 2 or 3 months, and they have different phrases. That's a great idea. Thank you. I'll say, I could design magnet. I think I could do that. Okay, I'll work on it. I like creating things. Keeps my brain going. Carissa, have you ever thought about starting your own coaching program? I have one. I do that, actually. I don't know that I'm a coach. The support group, it's what we do. And I do take at Patreon, I do have the option of doing a one-on-one. I've just closed it off because of my schedule. But you can go to my blog and buy a block of time. But no, I don't have one where you buy a deck or something like that. Be careful of those things. But thank you for asking. Antoinette Blair. Hi, Casey. Have you ever made or have eaten egg white bread, aka I did. I tried it in the very beginning. I think they call it cloud bread. I don't know what PSMF means. What does that mean? I think I saw that last week. I don't know what that means. It was okay. It didn't do for much for me. I think it didn't do much for my husband either. And also, let me tell you what, I find a danger for myself trying to come up with fake versions of the stuff that got me there in the first place. Because for me, it's not something I can't control. But for instance, mashed cauliflower, perfectly legit and delicious. But it is something that I have to really be careful with portion control. There's, it's an association for me. Mashed potatoes, which, of course, there's no nutrition in mashed potatoes. There's not that much in mashed cauliflower. And vegetables are limited to about a cup a day. So there's, I don't know how much a cup of cauliflower would turn into mashed cauliflower. It's not much. But things like fake breads and so-called whatever, or, good Lord, keto brownies, really, come on, they're not. But even if they were, I would eat them too much. But no, I haven't. I have not. Oh, to train coaches. Carissa says, if I do, no, no. Let me tell you what. Here's my thinking on it. Some things you can't teach. It's I'm very gratified doing what I do. I have a certain skill set. I have certain innate abilities, and some people don't. And it's not to say I'm great, but there's no way I could teach what I do. Because I don't plan it. I just start talking. Okay, people start talking about the yeah, that's funny. Melissa, right? She coaches until she says she ate it too. That's about right. Oh, thank you, Trish. The Cooking Studio, Fort Collins, writes, I highly recommend the Patreon membership if you want to stay on track. Lots of support and good people. I've said it many times. I suspect that many of the people who belong to Patreon, to my support group, join not to get access to me, but to get access to each other. It's a very good group of people, and it's a safe place. Oh, and you get access, as long as you're an active patron, to a private hidden Facebook group, one of the very few things that I think Facebook is good for. Oh, good Lord. PSMF? Oh, please, no. Thank you for letting me know what that is. Really? There's 2 words in there that aren't even in the protocol as I learned it. So, no, I'm not worried about that. It's just something someone will come out with some PSMF supplements. What you wanna bet? Um, Karen Peace writes, "Does the Spiral Journal ship to Canada?" No, sorry. Not the Spiral one, no, the shipping costs have just and they postage has just gone up again. It's just outrageous to send things to Canada. It would cost more than the book. Um, thank you. I'm glad you like the journal, Judy. I'm gonna wrap this up. I really appreciate y'all allowing me to be part of your Saturday. Remember, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. You kinda know, don't you? Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. And practice, practice, practice. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope to see you next time.